An ongoing dire situation in southeastern Luzon as Tropical Storm Kristine continues to impact the Bicol region as it moves off here towards the north and west, with expected landfall into central Luzon over Isabela as we go ahead through Wednesday evening. I'm meteorologist Robert Spreda. Let's talk about Tropical Storm Kristine, as it's known in the Philippines, TRAMI internationally, and it just goes to show why, we always say don't pay attention to the center line of these storm systems. Pay attention to the broader impacts and the scope of it, because the low level center is actually right in here, and it is still tracking off here towards the north and west, but the bulk of the convection has been located on the western periphery due to wind shear, with the amihan, or the kind of a cold surge, pushing the bulk of that cloud cover off towards the west. And the rain totals have been stacking up. Torrential precipitation in some of these areas, upwards of a half a meter in the course of 24 hours. That has resulted in some serious flooding out here, and unfortunately, I wouldn't be surprised if we do see some deaths associated with this, just because of the catastrophic flooding we've been seeing, especially around Naga City there, into the Bicol area. Still more rain in the forecast over the course of the next 24 hours. You see about 200 to 300 millimeters stretching across the Cagayan Valley all the way down towards eastern areas of Luzon, and even into Manila. 50 to 100 millimeters of total precipitation is possible. That's the water coming from the sky. There also still is that potential of storm surge, like these graphics from Pagasa they have been putting out here, indicating that moderate to high risk of storm surge along the east coast, and especially the northern coast of Luzon, as those winds wrap around out ahead of this storm system. Signal force 2 is in place across a good swath of Luzon, and a good swath of the country for that matter is under signal force 1 or 2 because of the large scope of this storm system. So the low level center, often with tropical systems, we say that's the main important thing, but it really, I can't stress enough, it is the convection and the heavy rainfall out ahead of this storm system, and as it tracks towards the west, it's going to continue to pump that moisture in across a good portion of the Philippines. So let's break this down here. One more look at the track and just how this tracks overhead here on Thursday, overhead over Luzon on Thursday, making landfall here just over Isabela, pushing across southern areas of the Cagayan Valley, basically passing right over the Maga Dam area, but still the heaviest of the convection, the heaviest of the precipitation located just south of that low-level center, right over Pangasinan. You could be looking at some flooding there too as this pushes through your area, and then it continues to track off towards the west and may intensify back to a typhoon before coming on shore into Vietnam as we go ahead into the weekend. But let's look at our hour-by-hour future cast, giving you a very close idea of what I'm talking about here with the bulk of the convection. You can see it right in here. Now, of course, there's stuff around the center, and of course, you're going to get some upslope and orographic lifting with convection pushing across a good portion of the Sierra Madre Mountains as our storm system pushes over there, and that's why you still see about 200 to 300 millimeters. But I still believe the heaviest of the precip is not going to be directly around the slow level center, but even extending just towards the south of the storm system. Now, that doesn't take away the winds, though, which are going to be likely tropical storm strength winds being found for a good portion of Luzon. And then even after this reemerges just offshore of Region 1, we're going to have heavy rainfall wrapping and around the backside of the storm system, pushing on shore there across Pangasinan, Subic Bay, even over towards Manila as we go ahead through our day on Thursday evening, heading into Friday morning before things do start to taper off through the day on Friday and especially into the weekend. But a very wide swath associated with this storm system and broad range of impacts, not only with the significant flooding we've been seeing, but a big deal with the winds, which extend all the way even back towards Taiwan. You're kind of getting indirect impacts with that cold surge coming in from the north. So we're taking a look at the flyover places like Tacloban, Legazpi. You're still looking at more rain here on your Thursday, albeit a lot of it is going to shift off towards the north. into the Manila area and stretching back towards places like Subic and, of course, across the Cagayan Valley. That includes Baguio, too, in the higher elevations. You're going to be looking at heavy flooding rains, and I wouldn't be even surprised if you do get some mudslides in some of those areas there. In fact, we just kind of look at the low-level center right here. See how that comes on shore just around Isabela, but despite it making that landfall further towards the north, the heaviest of the rain likely is going to be just south of that and into the mountains. And we can see that even here on our total rainfall accumulation, giving you an idea of where that center line's crossing just like that, but the heaviest of the rainfall just right in here. So boy, a lot to talk about with this storm system, but I think pay attention to those rainfall warnings, not so much the signal force warnings, but the red rainfall warnings, which the B call area was under red rainfall warning for 24 hours straight. That's why you're seeing such devastating and dire flooding across that area. But at least things are going to improve as this lifts towards the north, but still looking at some heavy, more rain and the potential of some serious flooding. If you like these updates, make sure, just quickly, I want to mention, check our Patreon. Link is down below. A big shout out to everybody that does support the channel. Also, do want to remind you, know your information through official sources. Pegasa is doing a good job handling this storm system. I'm not an official source. I never say I will, and I never will say make your plans according to what I say. I'm just here to interpret that data, share it with you. We've been talking about the potential for a storm system just like this for over a week now, so hopefully we have helped out a few of you. We're also watching another storm system potentially developing out towards Guam. I'm keeping a very close eye on that. But of course, I'm meteorologist Robert Speta. I'm going to keep you guys posted on this storm over the upcoming days as we continue to track Kristine. Not the prettiest of storms, but it doesn't need to be a pretty organized storm to have dangerous and deadly impacts. We've seen that with Washi is one of the big ones that come to mind. The serious flooding across Mindanao. That was over 10 years ago. Sometimes you get these storms that can bring catastrophic flooding, and they don't get the hype, they don't get the press that maybe a super typhoon does, so you don't get quite as many evacuations or people taking them seriously. And in the end, they can turn out to be significant and impactful storms, as we are exactly seeing here with Tropical Storm Kristine. So, of course, if you have any questions, though, please let me know. I'm going to try my best to continue to keep you posted. Number one thing, as always, please, friends, stay safe out there. All right.